For almost 2 decades, Dharma Production was Bollywood's safest bet. When a Dharma film released, distributors relaxed, multiplex owners smiled, brands lined up, and audiences expected at least one thing: a certain standard of success. But something strange has happened over the last 5 years. Dharma Productions is still out there. They still drop films. They still draw attention, but things have changed. Their films and shows just aren't hitting the mark. If you are a film buff, you have probably noticed how Dharma Productions has been on a steady decline since COVID. They are making films. They are making OTT shows. Yet they haven't been able to deliver a single blockbuster in the past 5 years. Karan Johar is still one of Bollywood's most influential personalities. The company launches stars, produces streaming shows, hosts award ceremonies, and dominates social media conversations. Every film or show associated with him generates a lot of discussion and excitement. But the numbers at the theatre and the audience feedback does not reflect his past glory. There was a time when Dharma Productions made headlines in the film industry. During the 2000s, Karan's films often defined mainstream Bollywood aesthetics. From Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham to Kal Ho Na Ho. From My Name is Khan to Ye Jawani Hai Diwani. Dharma was the poster child of good work. Their films were popular. The theatrical drama was loved. Then COVID hit. When audiences returned after lockdown, they had a different mindset. OTT platforms started to trend and basically allowed unlimited access to films. This changed something major for Dharma Productions. You see, Dharma Productions pre-COVID put a heavy emphasis on star power. Initially, Karan relied on established celebrities. Karan Johar liked working with people he knew the audience already liked. Then he switched to the newcomers. Films like Student of the Year, Kapoor and Sons, Razi, and Dear Zindagi were released. People enjoyed this new era of films with the modern adaptations of family drama. However, there was a budding problem that Karan Johar probably didn't see. Or maybe he didn't feel the need to address it. Well, it's the nepotism angle. Karan Johar has been overly promoting star kids for the past decade. He has faced criticism for strongly backing Alia Bhatt. The criticism was never really about her talent. It was the fact that Karan Johar openly pushed Alia Bhatt towards the audience and gave her countless opportunities. Unfortunately, to make things worse, he didn't learn his lesson. He went on to back even more star kids like Janhvi Kapoor, Ananya Pandey, and Shania Kapoor. This time, people were less pleased because the actors have failed to deliver stellar performances. The nepotism debate intensified. But Karan did little to change the narrative. The new audience doesn't find this amusing. Like I said, big names in the cast were simply not enough to make them like a film. In earlier decades, family legacy itself was a marketing asset. Today, it can sometimes become a liability. A film now has to justify itself far more aggressively. This mindset has caused Dharma Productions heavily. When Dharma Productions released its first major post-COVID film, it set a new standard for the company. The film Jugjugg Jeeyo wasn't a blockbuster. It did well enough by COVID standards, but in general it was just plain average. And that's where Dharma Productions got stuck. Almost all the films released later followed the fate of Jugjugg Jeeyo. Selfiee flopped terribly and Brahmastra became pure meme content despite good box office collections. Films like Yodha and Mr. and Mrs. Mahi struggled to stay relevant, while Kill earned critical acclaim without becoming a mainstream blockbuster. This became the fate of Dharma Productions. Within the series of flops, Dharma did manage to make one good film, Rocky Aur Rani Ki Prem Kahani. People were interested but cautious. Once the film was out, it started to generate even more interest. The final verdict was simple. The film was a hit. It cannot be compared to Dharma's earlier hits, but it still did extremely well. Rocky Aur Rani worked because it presented the same family drama in a more vibrant aesthetic. It was modern, but felt familiar at the same time. It worked really well with the audience. This was exactly the kind of hit Dharma Productions desperately needed. But Dharma Productions didn't manage to hold that success. The films that came later were average at best. Theatres saw crowds, but nothing was stellar about it. Since OTT platforms became more popular, Dharma Productions realized that they needed to utilize it. They did make a number of shows that were exclusive to streaming platforms. Dharma Productions made an OTT empire. They released shows like Fabulous Lives of Bollywood Wives, The Night Manager, Call Me Bae, The Traitors India, and many more. It was a good initiative, but it did nothing to change their situation. Like their theatrical films, most of these shows performed only moderately well. There has been some buzz around The Fabulous Lives of Bollywood Wives, but it was also surrounded by controversies. Once again, Karan Johar was accused of being out of touch with reality and heavily relying on star power for success. Among all the shows, only Coffee with Karan remained relevant and fairly popular. It survived controversies and criticisms. But we have to remember that Coffee with Karan was launched way before Dharma Productions were seeing a downward curve. Now the question is, will this become the new normal for Dharma Productions? Is their domination in the film industry finally coming to an end? That's difficult to say. There is a chance for improvement and even bigger success. After all, Karan Johar has a lot of resources at his disposal. We can only wait and see whether he makes good use of them. In the end, there is one last thing I would like to see. It's really sad to see a production house as big as Dharma Productions struggling to hit big in theatres. What's even worse is that many other production houses are struggling to stay relevant as well. The numbers at the box office are dropping and blockbusters are rare. It would be unfair to say that OTT is the only reason for their decline. There are a good number of people who would still love to hit the theatres for a good movie. It's just that production houses need to crack the formula of how to make an entertaining movie that would appeal to both the younger and the older generations. Being lazy with anything from the script to the casting isn't going to fly anymore. Hopefully Dharma Productions will figure out the new formula for success, because things aren't looking very good right now. Until then, we can only give them chances and feedback. Speaking of which, let me know what you think of Dharma Productions' condition. What do you think needs to change? I would love to hear your thoughts, so do leave them in the comments. And please hit the subscribe button if you like this video and want to see more such discussions. Thank you so much.